Hello from Mexico, welcome back to our channel. So today we're gonna do kind of a day in the life for you guys, but we're primarily gonna be here at the house site. We're getting a couple of things moved around and cleaned up so that we can get ready for the workers to come back next week. But we have a very important thing to do, which is move all of this stuff from this from the storage room that has not been finished to another temporary room so that the guys can get in here next week and finish the storage room, which is the last room in our house that needs its flooring and walls done. So if you like what you're watching, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can turn on the bell for notifications so that you never miss a video. So let me show you what a day in our life looks like living here in Mexico, primarily doing some work here at the house site so we can get ready for the workers to get back and get started. Let's go. It's going to be a little echoey because I'm in the guest room and there's literally nothing in here. But a lot of people have asked, how I plan on keeping the house clean because of the size of our house and particularly the floors. So I'm going to show you the cleaning system that I have for the floors, which saves me some time. And this is only part of it. There will be another piece that we're going to add to it once we're moved into the house. But this is how I primarily clean not only the floors in our current rental, but how I'll be cleaning them here as well. So let me show you. So this is going to be the temporary room that we're going to move all of our stuff into to store it, because we do have stuff in the storage room. But before we do that, I do want to get the floors cleaned. They're not super dirty, but I do want to get them clean just because I want it to be clean and fresh when we put all of the stuff from storage in here. So there's two things that I do. I don't sweep traditionally, unless I have to or unless this isn't charged. But I use the Shark, what is it called? Duo Clean Power, I think maybe. It's particularly good with pet hair, which is like an issue for me because we have a lot of pets. So this is what I start with, and then I use this cedar mop that keeps the clean water and the dirty water separate while you mop. So these are the two systems that I use to clean the floor. So I like this because it has two different settings. It has a hard floor and carpet setting. I never use the carpet setting, obviously, because I don't have any carpet, but we're gonna use the hard floor. And I like that it's battery powered, so I don't ever have to worry about a cord, which is also really nice. But I'm just gonna go through and get all of the dust and everything cleaned up so that I can mop, and then I'll show you how the cedar mop works because I love my cedar mop. Understand that the room that I'm showing you guys this Shark in is not very dirty, so I'm bringing it out here just so I can give you like a little look. This is definitely a difference. So there you go, clean versus dirty construction. Yeah, you can do it. Is brother doing it? Dominic is very interested in it. Just don't get in the wet spot. Good job, buddy. See? So easy a 7-year-old can operate it. Now that I have vacuumed the floor thoroughly and all of like the edges, now I'm going to show you how my cedar mop works so that we can mop the floor so that it can dry. It comes with removable washable pads, and the water and solution goes right here. Watch out or you're gonna get sprayed. Where'd you find a light bulb? Be careful with that so it doesn't break. So you put it in one side, and when you put it in one side, it wets the mop for you, just like that. And then you put it in the other side to kind of get rid of the excess water. And then you clean the floor. Now I like it because it keeps the water separate. And I end up using a lot less water than I did when I just used like a mop bucket, because I don't have to change it as often. So, and then if you press down, it'll get into the crowd. Just like that. The floor is clean. Sometimes I forget that this is what my floor looks like when it's clean. It's still got to dry, so it's still a little wet. But sometimes I forget that this is what the floor looks like clean because I'm so used to just seeing it covered in dust right now because it's we're still in construction. But so now we just have to let this dry. That took me about, I don't know, 5 minutes to vacuum and then about 10 minutes to mop. So it really isn't too terrible. I mean, there's a lot of dirt still. I don't anticipate that there will be as much dirt when we're like living in it versus now while it's a construction zone. But yeah, that's my floor cleaning system for anybody that has asked about that. I did want to give you guys a quick update on this because I hadn't yet, but they did get the whole front of the house done except for the front of the columns. But they got the final finish put on the front of the house. So now it looks all like smoothed out here. Somebody asked if we were gonna let you guys vote on the paint colors. I actually think that's a great idea. I think we will do that. I think that we will come up with a couple different colors and then in the community part, we'll have you guys vote, I believe. But we're not there yet, so hang tight, but just know, I think that that's a great idea. Talk to Fidel about it, and yeah, I think that we should let you guys vote on the outside color of the house. Why not? Ya está, limpiar.
¿Dónde vas?
Está limpio. Va por las computadoras en la escuela. We dropped Damon and Lupe and Dominic off at the house. Diego's doing schoolwork, but Lupe is going to hang out with them because Damon is ready for a nap. So we are here at the elementary school and we are going to get the computers and all of the electronics that they have in the library and take them to store them for the summer break. This is something that the president of the comité does when each year when there's a school break. So we're here to pick all these up and take them to store them. And now Fidel gets to hunt through the 15,000 keys to open the library. Just kidding. They're labeled. Está bien la cosa, ya se acabó. Nosotros quitar en la faena antes de otro año comenzar. Okay, so we did a faena before the last day of school, before the graduation. All the computers and the printers are all boxed up. So they're pretty easy to move, basically, because they got like all packed away and everything before the kids went on break. Yeah. Last item is the bocina.
¿Por qué no sirve el micrófono? Debemos ponerlo nuevo a la maestra.
Sí, es que ella dice que necesita nuevo. Let's go. Vamos a checar la cisterna por ver cuánto agua tiene. So one of the other things that needs to happen before the kids come back to school is that the cisterna needs to be cleaned out. It was going to be part of the final faena, and we ended up not being able to do it because there was too much water in it. We didn't want to waste the water. So we waited until after. So now we're going to check it because tomorrow is when the town gets its water. So the water lines will dump water into the cisternas at everybody's homes, and including the cisterna at the school. So we're going to check and see how much is currently in it, so we know if we can come and clean it tonight or if we are just going to have to pump the water out. There's a lot of water in there, Fidel. Still, we were hoping.
Como la mitad.
Yeah. Entonces, habla con la maestra, ¿no? Yeah, it's got about half of its water in it. We were hoping that it would all get used. Entonces, ¿cuál es su plan?
Mi plan es habla con la maestra y mira si podemos echarle agua porque tenemos muchas plantas, los árboles. Está lloviendo, pero pues vamos a echarle el agua a las plantas para poder porque está el agua.
Fidel and I were able to get all of the computers and that in storage. So now we have that squared away and taken care of. We have not moved anything out of the storage room here at the house site yet, but I have dropped Fidel off. He's going to go get some food for the animals so the hierbas, or the weeds and that they eat from the fields. So he's gonna go collect some of that. I need to go home and do a work meeting because in about an hour and a half, we have to go down to the elementary school because the systems are back up, which means they have Dominic's grades and his boletos and things like that. So we have to go and get all of that squared away at the primaria. And then after that, we're coming back to the house site so we can move all of the stuff out of the storage room into the temporary storage space. I'm gonna head home and do my work meeting, and I'm gonna show you guys what Fidel's up to.
Pues aquí ya se llegó la tarde. Estamos estoy hasta que vine a traer la hierba para los animales, que ya se empezó a hacer tarde, que tengo un poco de aquí. Aquí tengo otro manojo de este lado. Pero ahora yo creo que ya completé. Aquí tengo varios manojos. Tengo acá y tengo acá. Yo creo que me falta poco para completar. Bueno, tenía que venir a traer basura antes de que se llegue la tarde, que el sol ya se empieza a ocultar. Entonces pues ya casi completé y ahorita pues, ya está, se ve el sol medio entre las nubes allá. Allá se ve enfrente de la torre. Pues sí, ya en poco tiempo, y bueno, ahorita yo ya me voy a llevarlos a comer los animales y pues acercarme con los muchachos. Con adelanto ya, aunque sí trabajo. Sí trabajo. Y con los animales, entonces, pues acercarme con los niños. Bueno, voy a empezar a sacar la hierba para así poder llegar a comer a casa, porque yo creo que nos esperaban que sea una rica comida. Yo dije una sopita fideo para estar, como se ve que iba a estar frío el clima. Dije yo con una sopita. Bueno, nosotros vamos a seguir. No voy a empezar a sacar los manojos, sino mucha plática y poco trabajo.
Look who I found. Yes, he's using his speaker. ¿Ya listo? Vámonos. Hi, Capi. All right, so we just got done at the primaria. We have an assignment. Well, we have a couple of assignments closer to when school's back in session. And also, Mancha showed up here because she's never at her own house. But Dominic's final grade for first grade was a 9.5 out of 10. So they do their grades different here. Obviously, their grades are out of 10. So obviously 10 is perfect. He got a 9.5 this year.
Yeah. 95, la verdad. Muy buenas calificaciones.
Yeah, he did fantastic. He had 9s and 10s across all the subjects all year. Like,
a pesar de sus dos idiomas, sacó muy buenas calificaciones.
See. Mm-hmm. And we got the school supply list. So we're going to go school shopping soon. So stay tuned for that, because I'm definitely taking you guys school shopping with us. But so now we're going to head back to the house site. Here's a look at the storage room. We're going to move all of this stuff into the temporary space so that the guys can come in here and do the walls, obviously. So the finish on the walls, the electricity, and of course the flooring. And now we have to get all this stuff moved. Also, the bags, I'll explain that at the end of the video, why there's so many suitcase sets.
Nos falta todavía por revocar. Tengo unas mangueras. Y solamente nos falta, es el storage. Esto es lo que nos falta ya para cerrar. Ya se terminó, gracias a Dios, todo. Este es lo único que faltaba, el storage. Las mangueras que vienen del otro extremo del otro cuarto, porque ahí va la caja. Entonces ahí tengo. Pues ya se terminó. Esto vamos a seguir avanzando.
We are all done moving stuff. I said that I would explain the suitcases. So each time that we would go up to the US, I didn't take very many suitcases to avoid paying fees, because we didn't take a lot of stuff with us. We always knew we were going to bring stuff back. And then when we would get up there, we would either have a suitcase break during the travel, because I never buy expensive sets of luggage. I probably should at some point, like better quality, I guess. Maybe that wouldn't happen. I don't know. So we'd either have one break, or we would get stuff. We would get stuff to bring back, and then my family would also gift the boys stuff, and I would try and bring back some stuff that I have like in storage up there. And so I would have to buy more suitcases to come back with because I didn't take very many up. I don't do it. It doesn't happen to us anymore. But what I found was that when I got back home in our first two rentals, you guys can go back and look. We have a tour of the one. If you guys remember like the infamous green algae wall in my kitchen, we had a lot of issues in those houses because the walls weren't finished with moisture getting in. And so what I found was that if I tried to store, or like if I had stuff in cardboard boxes, that like the boxes would get soft and like I'd have moisture damage. And so what I would do is I would store stuff in the suitcases, and that's how I kept like bugs and moisture out of our stuff that we had stored. So yeah, it's going to be a big project when we move in to go through everything that's in our storage, get rid of things, gift things out. I think there's some things in there that Fidel wants to sell, like baby stuff and that we don't need anymore. But yeah, a lot of stuff. And with the floor cleaning, like I said, that has come up quite often in our like comment section, and that people have either made comments about how it's going to be a nightmare to clean this house, or they've asked like how I plan on maintaining it. So a couple different things. When Fidel and I were designing this house with the architects, I knew that because it was like, because we have about 5,000 square feet, including the garage. And so I knew that it was going to be a lot of floor space. I knew that it was going to be a lot of space to keep clean, right? I am also not the only one in my house that cleans. It is a team effort, right? So I clean, Fidel cleans, the boys clean. More Diego and Dominic right now. Of course, Damon will start doing chores too. So it's very much a team effort when we clean our any house that we're in, right? But I knew that this was going to be an undertaking. So I knew that I was going to have to find a system that was going to help me clean the house, particularly my floors, without a lot of water usage, because I try to avoid, over usage of water. That's why we only have one bathtub in the house, and we won't use it every day, obviously. And no swimming pool. A lot of people have asked if we're going to do a swimming pool. No, we're not going to have a swimming pool. But I knew that I was going to have a plan for this. I'm also going to get older, right? And my kids may move out, and I don't know, if we may have family come in and things like that, right? But I know that as I get older and that it's going to be harder to maintain this house. So essentially I wanted to make sure I had a system in place, right? To maintain this house. And also I work, right? I work, Fidel works, like we're a busy family. The kids have school and friends and all of that. And so I wanted a cleaning system that wasn't going to like eat up all of our time, right? And that, because I don't want to spend all of my time cleaning the house, but I do want to live in a clean house, right? So that's why I have trialed and errored a bunch. And when I tell you trialed and errored, I have trialed and errored. I do really like the mop system because it keeps I know I've said this before in this vlog, but it keeps the clean water separate from the dirty water, which is one of the things I hate about mopping. And the Shark Vac, it does a great job. I had no complaints about it. When I was looking for cleaning solutions, I even looked into commercial cleaning solutions, right? So things that were used for commercial buildings as far as cleaning the floors and that. I looked into everything, and they're so expensive and they're hard to find down here. I didn't have a lot of luck finding those. So this system I found, and I used it a lot, and I have been using it a lot up at our rental, and that's why that is the system I went with, because it's so it's quick, it doesn't take as much effort, I think, as anything else that I've tried, but it's quick, and that's important because there's a lot of floor to clean here. The thing that I'm going to add to it, though, is a robot, a robot vacuum. They have a couple different robot vacuums that I'm comparing and researching right now that both vacuum and mop. And so those are ones I'm looking into right now, but I haven't landed on one yet. But that will be something that we do once we get into this house, because I don't really need it in our rental. Our rental isn't big enough that I need it in our rental. So there's an explanation of the floor system, but because we get asked it a lot, I wanted to give you guys an idea of how I do it, and I thought today would be a good time to show you guys because I had to come over and clean part of this floor. For the most part, the workers clean the floors up, and that when they're over here at you know, every week or so, things like that. But it gets so dirty while they're working, and that's to be expected. So anyway, so there's a look at how I intend on cleaning the floor, a look at what we've got going on at the house site, including getting this storage room cleaned out so that the guys can finish it. It's a little bittersweet because it's literally the last room in the house that needs, like, that's unfinished, essentially, right? None of the rooms are completely finished yet, but they're all to a point where they're almost finished. And this room is not. This room still looks like you know, we just, like, the guys just built it. So it's a little bittersweet to see this, like, this room get cleared out. And I think it's going to be, I just think it's going to be bittersweet to see it get finished, right? Because we're just, man, we're so close. We're just so close to being in this house, and I'm just so excited. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. A lot of running around and doing a bunch of things, but as always, just really appreciate you guys being here. I promise next week we'll be back with some house updates, including an update on the mosaic, because we should get the sample next week. So we'll be bringing you a house update on that. I'll show you guys the process of finishing this very last room in our house. And then next we're going to move on to doors, baseboards, finishes, all of that. So man, just a lot of exciting things coming up. So thank you guys, as always, for being here. Really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next vlog. Bye, guys.